So today I thought I would share some of my thoughts of the Wouxun KG-935G GMRS handheld radio after having a couple of days worth of messing around with it. This is a great radio. The quality is excellent. The reception is excellent. There are two quirks that I did run across that I kind of wish that they would fix, but the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. So I thought I would share the quirks with you. So the first quirk has to do with its dual display here. So if I wake up the radio here, it goes to full brightness. You've got your two areas. They used to call these bands, your main band A and then B on the bottom. What is nice is you can display either the channel number, the channel name, or the frequency on either one of the top displays, and you can display them separate of each other, if that makes sense. So on the top, I can display the there's a VFO frequency here that I could display. I could display the channel number. I can display the frequency of that particular channel. So for this channel on channel 34, this is 462.650. This is a repeater. And then I can go back to my repeater name that I actually named. And then if I go down to the area on the bottom, I can do the exact same thing. I can switch between all three of those. So that's pretty cool. My only gripe here is, let me go back up to the top, is I've got them both on channel 34. I wish there was a way, and you can do this on other radios, that if you change the frequency on the top, that the bottom frequency would also change. And you might wonder, well, why would you want to do that? The reason being is if I go back down to the bottom and I change it to the frequency and then go back up, a lot of other radios will let you display the name on the top portion and the frequency on the bottom, and then when you change the channels, they move in unison. It's kind of a nice way that they are able to display more information on the screen. I know my Radioddity, my DB20G, the mobile that I'm using as my base, it has the dual display also, and if I turn the dual display off, I have the option of, in the bottom area that's no longer used, of displaying the frequency, which is actually pretty cool. And actually here, even on my, this is my BTEC, my GMRS V2, I've got the same thing. They've got two different, lines where you can monitor two different frequencies at the same time. I have it so that the top one always displays the name, the bottom one displays the frequency, and there is an option in here to sync the two, so that when I do change it, the frequencies move together along with the channel, and you can see the channel number stays the same, as you're scanning. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. I wish, Wouxun would do this. I had actually talked with the guys at buy2wayradios.com. I called them, I asked them to see if there is any way to sync those. And they said, no, there's not. But you know what? That's kind of a really good idea. We'll keep that in mind for maybe the next iteration of the radio. So, like I said, I'm kind of surprised that nobody had mentioned that before, or nobody had thought of that. So I also did the other quirk. I also did reach out back to buy2wayradios.com. I had noticed that the scan feature. So let me go into scan here. Scan mode. There are three different scan modes on this radio. The default is SE, and that's where it'll start scanning, and if it hits some traffic on a particular channel, it'll stop there and it will stay stopped. It will not start scanning on its own. You'll have to hit the scan button again to do it to get it started. The one I've been using is TO, which, let me bring that back here. Scan mode. I have it set to TO, and TO would stop the scanning when it hears a signal, and then after the signal is lost or they stop transmitting, it waits 5 seconds in case there's any kind of a response on that channel, and then starts scanning again. I think that's kind of the most common setting that people use when scanning. The issue is on the TO setting, for me, it basically starts scanning as soon as the signal ends. there's literally no pause. I mean, if there is a pause, it's maybe 5 seconds and that's it. So then the other setting, the third setting is CO, and that's where it stops when there's a signal heard, and as soon as the signal is over, it starts scanning again. So basically the TO setting that I have it set at and the CO setting, basically both start the scanning right away. There's really no pause. So when I talk to Buy Two-Way Radios, their tech support guys, they actually had the KG-935G Plus there, and he, on the call, you know, he was doing the same thing, and he noticed that his radio was working the exact same way. So, you know, I thought maybe I had a faulty radio or there was some issue, but bottom line is the TO setting really does not pause at all before it starts scanning again. So anyways, if anybody has any experience with that or was able to find a workaround or some other setting in the radio to adjust that, Buy Two-Way Radio said, yeah, there's nothing as far as any of the menus that they knew of. So that's kind of it. But anyways, just wanted to share those two kind of weird quirks with you guys. Get your opinion on that. Other than that, like I said, it's not a deal breaker. This is a great radio. Battery life has been great on this. And the sound quality and the range has been great. It definitely, I mean, it's got some nice heft to it. It's definitely a little bit heavier and feels, you know, built more solid than my B-Tech, my GMRS V2. The only other thing, and like a lot of people had mentioned, it is kind of difficult to see the display in bright sunlight. So when I've had this in the car, it's basically washed out. A lot of times if I go in the car, I would just take this one because it's got the, you know, the backlit, the black LCD that's way easier to read in the sunlight. So anyways, that's it. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.